Adrian, and then we'll have questions from players.
All right, listen, great win for us, obviously. I mean, this time of the year, you're just trying to find a way to move on. We played very, very well. One of our best games of the year. Scored 86 points against Eastern Michigan Zone. I think it's the most points they've given up in league play. These guys were fantastic. The whole team, everybody who checked in the game, I thought had a really, really positive contribution. And that's what it takes in March. So I'll let you ask these guys questions, and then they got to get some rest, and then I'll answer whatever you need.
You scored 49 on them, and you about double that up this time. Just what was the difference between tonight and the last time you played offensively, especially?
I mean, I think it's different the second time you see it around. The first time you see it, they play a pretty good zone. Like it's real hard to get in lanes. So the first time you see it, you really don't know too much of what to do. And I mean, them having home court advantage at that time is like a different environment with a whole everything's something new when you play them because you never really it's something you really can't practice on. So I mean, I think we watched film on the first game and we learned like where we could find our lanes at and get comfortable to our spots where we want to be.
It seemed like the ball moved pretty well all night offensively. Was that an emphasis coming in?
Yeah, you could say it was an emphasis. I mean, people were just finding their open teammates. You know, if someone open, why not pass them the ball? It was a great ball flow tonight. Coach said we had our highest assist game today. That was it. Teammates just finding teammates, trying to do whatever we can do to win.
That run in the first half when Booman was on the bench, I mean, how big was that, or that last 8 minutes of the first half?
Run is huge. You know, we was trying to create some space and give ourselves some cushion. And we were just trying to keep adding on to it. Even though they came back, but we stuck with our plan, and the end result is what we wanted, advance to Cleveland.
Man, you led the game in steals. How were you able to do that? What were you able to do to get the ball away from them?
I mean, I was the help guy today. I was helping off my man, so I was just trying to find a way I could just disrupt their offense all night. So if it was getting in the lanes, if it was contesting at the rim, if it was anything, I just found a way that I could be a pest out there tonight to the guys when they was trying to get in their spot.
For you, how were you able to keep in your flow when you had to sit the last 8 minutes of the half?
I mean, I sat there, I cheered my team on. I watched them continue to keep playing without me. So I mean, I just didn't really get too much of myself. It's a team game, so I really didn't think too much of myself. When I watched my guys continue to play and continue to fight without me. And when I came back in, I just figured I had to help them fight too.
From our perspective, you know, media and fans look at this game and see what you did last time and thinking this might be a bad matchup for you guys. What was your when you found out you had to play these guys again, what was your thought?
I mean, when I found out I had to play Eastern Michigan, truthfully, I'm like, it ain't scared to play them. I just, you don't want to play somebody that you lost to in the first round. But we was at home, you know what I'm saying, and it's not even that. I feel like we just, like they just shut us down. We just didn't make our shots, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? That's no disrespect to them, but that's just really what it was. And then once we figured out we was playing them, you know what I'm saying? It's just all right, we gotta lock in. They in our way, they disrupting us from getting to where we want to go. You know, so we gotta lock in and get it done. It ain't like we can play a different team.
Danny, you've played in the first round a couple times in your career. Do you think that sometimes it's an advantage just to kind of, as you're putting things together, in the tournament?
In a way, you can say that, you know. For some people, it get the jitters out the way of it being in the first round, and then it keeps the flow of things going. You know, all teams don't have to play today. You know what I'm saying? Some don't have to play the next round, and then you can be sitting down all that time. You know what I'm saying? And then you can just get thrown into a game, and the flow might not be there. You know, right. So therefore, it can be a blessing in disguise. You know what I'm saying?
Did it ever cross your mind that this might be like 2017 when you guys didn't have a great league record and still came on a great run at the end?
Yeah, I think about that all the time, how things was my freshman year, how things are now, kind of similar, you know what I'm saying, kind of similar personalities from our freshman team, you know, and we got the same talent, you know, so yeah, I think about that all the time, you know, all it takes is 4 games, we already got one of them.
Any more questions for players?
I know it's not up to you guys, but the 1 in 59 jerseys, would you want to wear them again if you can?
We can't, because we're the home team, I think, wears the higher seed is the home team. So they wear white.
So you can't wear them?
I don't think so. Unless there's an upset, maybe we can. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Right.
To answer your
Yeah.
question, though, if I could, I would wear it every game.
Wear them every
Yeah,
game.
every game. These are our best jerseys to me.
Is that because
We
they're
haven't lost
lucky,
them.
or is that because of what they mean?
I mean, I like how they are. I like the design. You know, shout out to the Kent State Fashion students who designed them. And we win in them, you know. They tight, you know.
You agree?
Yeah, I mean, wish I could take it home right now. I feel like this is a good luck jersey. I mean, we haven't lost in. This is the only jersey we haven't lost in all year, so I wish we could keep winning it for the rest of the year.
Bro.
Any more questions for players? Okay, you guys are good. Thank you.
All right, Bill.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Just routine match stuff where you would score 49 on them and then you throw 80 some on them this time. It's just
Yeah,
kinda
you know what?
like-
Truthfully, that was Coach Sly. I should have said that to start. He recommended putting Booman in the middle of the zone for this game, and I think we were significantly more effective with him either along the baseline or in the middle as opposed to up top. So I would sit here and take the heat for the bad loss the first game in that we didn't have him where we needed him. And in this game, Coach Sly said, hey, we really need to get Booman along the baseline or in the middle. And every once in a while I listen to those guys. They probably say not enough, but I listened to them on that one and it worked out for us. So it was a great recommendation. And then the guys have to execute, and he was tremendous in the middle, and Anthony and Troy and Mitch in particular, like those guys found him in the middle all night long. So that to me was a big part of the game.
So if you knew what you fixed against Eastern Michigan the second time, you're now playing Ball State, who you had a similar
Yeah.
loss to. So do you
Yeah.
have any idea what?
I got to watch
you
film.
fixed
Yeah,
there?
I haven't watched anything yet on ball. 7 years ago in 2010, 2011, it was the 19th rated league in the country. So these teams are all good. They're all good. You have Eastern Michigan, who is the 11 seed, okay? They had 16 wins this year. They had 16 wins. You had Miami of Ohio, who I think is the 12 seed. They have 13 wins. Back in 2004, 2005, 2009, 2010, the worst teams in the league had 5 wins. They had 4 wins. They had 7 wins. I was here in one of Jim's years. We had every year was a good year, but one of the years we went 20-13. We beat Central Michigan 3 times that year. Central Michigan won 3 games on the season. So Ball State has had an unbelievable season. They're rested. They won the West. They co-champions, but they won it. They've got an excellent coach, an excellent staff. They have excellent players. I think the defensive player of the year in Tajay Teague. We're going to have to play incredibly well to win that game. They earn the right to be the 3 seed and to play up in Cleveland. Without this game, we earn the right to be at home, and we're fortunate that we won. And now we move on and we get a chance to play up in Cleveland against a really good opponent. We will watch film tonight. We'll watch film tomorrow. We'll have our game plan ready, and hopefully it's as effective as this one is. If it's not, then we'll probably be going home. But hopefully it is. And I also want to add winning 20 games because I want to make sure this point gets across. That's not easy either. It's taken for granted here that you're just going to win 20 games. That's not easy to do. If you go again, I've been here 9 years. There haven't been that many teams in this league that win 20 games every year. It doesn't happen all that often. So my players, we graduated the leading scorer in the league. We graduated a 4-year point guard who was a starter on an NCAA tournament team. We have had some ups and downs. Marla mentioned it. We have had some ups and downs. But we've had more ups and downs. We've won 20 games this year. So we've beaten the top teams in the league. We have not done great against some of the bottom teams in the league. But you know what? It's hard. It's hard to win these games. This is not like you go and play the 12th seed at Miami of Ohio and you just go out there and beat them. Bowling Green just lost them. Bowling Green won 22 games this year. They're the 2 seed in the league. These teams are all good. This is not 10 years ago in this conference. And that's what some people forget. It's not 10 years ago in this conference. 10 years ago in this conference, the bottom teams in the league won 6 games. They won 5 games. They won 7 games. Now they win 13 games. They're 6-12 in the league. They're not 2-16 in the league. They're not. So every game you have to cherish the wins, and that's why, again, to Akron, that's what makes their season so great. They won so many close games. Eastern Michigan had them beat at their place, and they found a way to pull it out. We struggled with some of those games. That's the difference. 1 or 2 plays here or there. We're 3 plays away from being, we were 9-9, from being 12-6, and then the narrative's different. But we're playing in Cleveland. There's 8 teams left. We're one of those 8. I couldn't be prouder of these guys. They fight through every day. Not every day is easy. It's not easy for Danny every day. He's in the training room for an hour and a half every day to get himself ready to play. It's not easy to bounce back after losing a heartbreaking game to Akron at Akron. And we came out and won against a good team, well coached, tough team to play. They beat us by 21 points the last time we played them. And I'm proud of these guys and happy for them. And now we move on to Cleveland. And again, we got to find a way to win 1 game on Thursday and then figure out what we got to do on Friday. And that's the plan.
Did you know Miami beat Buffalo before you said all that?
I did not know. I knew that they were up 2. They won the game? Yeah, that's the 2-time defending champ. They're not 3-time. We won, no, 2-time. Yeah, they've won 3 out of 4. We're the only other team that's won. And they're not getting to Cleveland. And they've won 20 games this year. And you know what? I'm sure everybody up in Buffalo is disappointed, as well they should be. They had a good season. They had a tough night. They had a good season. It's not easy to do this. Oh, well, you play more games. Yeah, I got you. See how many teams in this league have won 20 games over my 9 years. It's not easy. Compared to the other sport, it's not easy. So, you know what? I'm sure they're disappointed, as well they should be. And Miami is the 12 seed. They can go and beat anybody. That's just how this deal works, man. So I'm not shocked. I'm not. I mean, obviously Buffalo deserved to be the 5 seed by their regular season, but I'm not shocked Miami beat them. Not at all. And nothing would shock me up in Cleveland. If it goes chalk all the way through, it wouldn't shock me. And if 7, 6, 12, and 4 are in the semifinals, it wouldn't shock me either, because there's a lot of good teams in this league. Not mediocre teams, not average teams. There's a lot of good teams in this league. And I'm done on my soapbox, but we needed to win for me to say all this stuff, because now we won 20 games. But I am a little tired of hearing how it's mediocre.
Coach, they mentioned the assists. You tied your
Yeah,
season-high assists.
great job. Listen, if we could have cut some of the turnovers, we could have scored 100 tonight. But you know what? Give Eastern credit. They're very good at turning teams over, and they make you think you have passes that you can make, and sometimes you can't. You don't have them.
I know the ball movement's been
Yeah.
something you stressed all season.
Mhm.
How do you feel moving forward after
Yeah.
tonight?
Listen, Thursday's going to be a completely new game. But I'm glad we had 21 assists. I'm glad we shot 53%. I'm glad we scored 86 points. We should play with confidence. But we should play with confidence at all times. That's how we should play. We have a good offensive team. So Ball State did a great job limiting us last time we played them at home. I'm sure a lot of that had to do with Ball State. They're the number 1 defensive team in the league. Eastern was number 2. But I'm sure there's some things that we can look at and say, boy, we got to clean this up and get better. And if Sly has any suggestions, I'm going to listen to him again. Yeah.
I have to ask you the same
Go
question
ahead.
I asked Danny.
Yeah.
Has 2017 ever crossed your mind about maybe you could catch fire?
Well,
like that?
only because of the seed, right? Because we were the 6th seed in 2017. So that's really the one thing that you say, okay, we've been in this spot before and we've won from that spot. But that every season's new, and I haven't thought much further than that. And I do know that year we won. We beat the 11. We sort of got fortunate because they missed a 3 at the buzzer that would have beat us in regulation. And then we beat the 3, 2, and 1. And listen, I know we got to play the 3, so then we'll see who else. If we're fortunate enough to win, we'll see who else we have after that. But if you ask me after Thursday if there's similarities, because if I'm smiling, then I'll say yes, and if I'm not, then I'll say no.
But you feel, I know you've had a good cup, since January 4th,
Yeah.
you've been pretty good, but do you still feel now you got all your guys?
I
Do you
feel
like-
confident. I feel like our guys have been playing well
do you
over the
feel like
last
you're
month.
putting it together still?
I would like to think so, but I also know it's fragile. It's game by game. But if you were to say ever since our bye week, we played Eastern, that was a dud. every other game we have played really, really hard, and we have played really well. We have not come out on the right end of every one of those games. We lost at home to Buffalo. Danny didn't play in that game. Tonight he had 20 points and 9 rebounds. So he probably could have made a difference. We lost in a double overtime in that one. We lost at Ohio. Anthony didn't play in that one. He had 14 points, 6 assists, 1 turnover. So I think he could have helped. It was a one-possession game with a minute to go. And in Akron, we lost it was a dogfight. It was a great game, and they made a couple plays down the stretch, but that's the number 1 seed, and we were tied with 2 minutes to go, and we definitely had a chance to win that game. So I do feel like we're playing better. I feel like we're playing well, but I also know how fragile this deal is. It's a game-by-game thing.
Toward the end of the first half, Phil and Boo both got
Yeah.
2 fouls. I thought Mitch came in and Andrew
Great.
Wilson really did some great
Yeah.
things to kind of help you extend the lead. Even in the game.
They were great. Mitch had a huge rebound late in the game that sealed the game. He had 3 assists. One of those was a really nice bounce pass for an N1 to Beck in the first half. Nunu, outside of that intentional foul, which was ridiculous on his part, he played great. Like, he was fantastic. He had 9 points, 6 rebounds. He was great. I mean, not good. He was great. So that's what it takes this time of year. You need guys to step up. You need everybody who comes off the bench to play big and meaningful minutes, whether that's 2 minutes for Gio or 19 minutes for Nunu. You got to be ready to go, and you got to have a positive impact, because if one guy doesn't have a positive impact, that can impact winning.
What you said about Danny, I mean, he had a huge 3. And
Yeah, big 3.
Dunk, big
Yeah.
free throws. I mean, but does he have to almost turn it on and off because he can't go super hard the whole game?
Yeah, according to him, he can. I took him out for 30 seconds, and he was angry as could be. I mean, that was when Nunu had the intentional foul. Of course, Danny blamed me for Nunu having the intentional foul because he was sitting next to me. But he looked tired. He looked really winded, so I wanted to get him out till the media timeout. And at 4:10 is when Nunu made that foul. So I took Nunu out, put Danny back in, and he hit, because it got cut to 6, and he hit a huge corner 3 that put it to 9. And if he doesn't make that shot, the result could have been a lot different. So that shot was huge shot, and he was great from the foul line all night. And he was impactful at the rim. He played very, very well. I know the turnovers were too high, but he played very, very well.
Rob, I have to, again, the bench has come up big.
Yeah.
Again, Beck again had some key plays
I thought so.
during it. I know I mentioned it to you again after the Bowling Green game, but did you feel that, again, last year was Roberts and he came into his own. As we get to the field house, do you think Beck is coming into his own?
I do think he's playing much better of late. So he's an important part of our rotation, and I think he's played much, much better as the year has gone on. And I do think he's coming into his own. I think he's feeling a little more comfortable, and he's finishing around the basket. And tonight he rebounded really well. He's always been a really good help defender and good on the ball defender. He's been good all year with that. So he's going to be important moving forward for sure.
Was it just the learning curve of playing Division I college basketball?
Well, he played at UNLV last year, but halfway through the year, they really stopped playing him. And I think being in a new system and getting comfortable, I'm sure there's a lot of factors that impacted how he played early. But he had some big moments early too. When Phil didn't play against Central Michigan, he was great in that game. But he has certainly been more and more consistent over the last few weeks, and he's making bigger and bigger plays for us for sure.
When you have a guy that kind of comes out of nowhere, like Noah Morgan did, puts up 30,
Yeah.
averaging 9, is that a struggle to try to contain someone when they just kind of explode like that?
Yeah, sometimes you're feeling it, right? And he was feeling it because he was 6 for 11 from 3, 11 for 18 from the field. He had a great game, and I'm sure, he's a junior. I'm sure next year he'll have a really good year for them. It seems like Rob Murphy, he finds guys that different guys come through different nights for them, and he was fantastic tonight. you know, we tried to guard him. So he was making everything behind ball screens, and he's a really good player. He played a really good game tonight.
Any more questions for Coach?
All right, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you Thursday. It's nice to be there.
Good to see you.
Yes, you too. It is nice
I'm
to.
bummed about the one at the